are you guys not going to let your mom come and live with you? Why is she still living in this house all by herself? If she isn't going to be leaving anytime soon, then we are never going to be able to get this place. Sophie, this is all a bit too sudden for me. What are you talking about? Why are you talking to me about my mom and her house and you guys getting it from her? You're actually going on about something like that? That's what I'm talking about here. What other house do you think I'd want to be talking about with you? Well, you do know that my mom is still alive, right? So her house would still be her house. I'm not sure what you mean by not getting it from her or something, but she's still around and plans on living in that house. Your mom is in a wheelchair, right? And she wants the people living with her to be the ones taking care of her, right? Well, you seem to have the time to be taking care of her for me, so I was thinking I could pay you to take her off my hands and be the one responsible for her now. Why are you saying that like she's not any of your guys' worries? She is my mother as well as my brother's, so you shouldn't be speaking about her like that. And even though she's in a wheelchair, she's still doing well enough for herself that she doesn't need anyone else taking care of her. So please stop speaking about her in that way. Is that so? Well, whatever, I guess. But this is basically you telling me that you don't want to have your mom come over and live with you then. She hasn't asked me anything about this, so I've never put any thought into it. After all, my mom isn't really in need of having to move out of her house and come live with me. Now, why are you asking me all of this? Well, that's because your brother and I have started living in this house with your mom. Wait, really? Then why does it seem like you want to kick my mom out of that house right now when you're the ones that's moved into it? You're both living in my mother's house together then now, right? That's right, but we're only here for her house. And we just thought that by having you take your mom off our hands, the process of getting this house would be sped up just a bit. You stop it right there, Sophie. I don't care that you're my brother's wife. You're being rude. My mom has rights too, you know. She has rights? What do you mean by that? She's in a wheelchair now, so she doesn't even have the most basic human rights anymore. Huh? If she doesn't have anyone with her to care for her, she can't do anything. Saying that she has the same rights as my husband and I makes me laugh. Are you freaking kidding me? You are starting to really make a bad name for yourself here, Sophie. I know that she's paying for someone to help her out, but she's been using her late husband's money for that, right? I do not want her touching any of that money. She happens to have family that can take care of her for free, so I'm going to turn that caretaker away the next time she comes to the door. Huh? So does this mean you're going to be the one to care for my mom? Because based on what you've been saying to me, that doesn't appear to be the case. Well, it'll all be fine, right? I'd rather have us be the ones taking care of her anyway in order to not waste any more of that money. Waste any more of that money? That money is my mom's to use any way she'd like. What is wrong with my mom using the money she has on things that she wants? It's wrong because your late dad's money is supposed to be my husband's money now. If she uses all of that money up on herself, then it's going to be a real problem for us. I'm telling you, we can't let her waste that money any longer. But I'm still trying to figure out in what way she's wasting it when it's being spent on herself. I think she has every right to be using that money on herself, especially when it's for something she needs. And by the way, why are you talking about the money she's received from my dad? Does this mean you've never known about any of this? Perhaps your dad only ever told Anthony about this then. Well, I'm sure you must be feeling left out now. What are you going on about, Sophie? I literally have no clue what this is all about. Well, just know that we'll be living in this house now with your mom. You can have her anytime you want, but if you plan to leave your mom with us, then promise me to never come over here, okay? Huh? That's the house where my mother lives, so I'm going to be coming over there to check up on how things are going. Could you please stop talking like you get to make the rules about everything and everyone in this family? I can already tell by how things have gone in this conversation that you don't even want to care for my mother, right? That money is hers, so let her continue to use it on someone who actually wants to help her and knows how to. That is something I get to decide on, so you just sit there and be quiet. No, it's not something you get to decide. She is the only one that gets to decide on that because she's using her money for it. I've already made up my mind on it. If you don't want to take her off our hands now, then shut up and look the other way. This isn't your house anyway, so leave this to the people who are actually here. Hold on a second, Sophie. You are not supposed to just be making decisions like that on your own without everyone else's say. Are you listening to me? Anthony? Since when did you guys decide on moving in with Mom? I've never heard about any of this from either of you before today.
We decided last week, I think? Wait, maybe it was yesterday. But we made our decision.
What the hell? You get that Mom is in a wheelchair, and although she can handle mostly everything on her own, she needs someone to be there to help with some things, right? Your wife just told me she won't let the caretaker into the house anymore to help with Mom and is going to stop paying her. This is all just a joke, right?
Sophie told me that's what she decided to do, so I'm not going to say anything about it.
Why not? She is your wife, and that is your mother.
Don't get so worked up over this. You want a little bit of Dad's money as well, right?
Excuse me?
Well, then you let Sophie and I take care of Mom, and then you'll get your share when things are all done with.
Wait. What are you talking about? What are you both planning to do with Mom? And Dad's money? What the hell is this?
You should know about this, right? Dad had loads of money before he passed away.
Wait, what are you talking about? Since when?
I get that Dad's company may have gone under in his final years.
Are you trying to act like it didn't completely crash and burn before his death?
But before the company went bankrupt, I heard from him about a few things. Dad was saying that he had a ton of assets that he kept hidden from the banks.
You're joking, right? Did you actually believe him?
Dad never had a reason to lie about something like that to me. I feel bad for the two of you women. Both you and Mom. I guess Dad never wanted to let either of you two have any of his money after he passed.
What do you mean?
Dad made a promise only to me about handing me his assets. But he told me all of them were being kept at home, and well, Mama's been there making it really hard for me. However, we're living with her now, so it's not going to be too much longer before I get the money and everything else.
So that's what all of this is about. I finally see why you both wanted to move in with her. What you both are after. But I'm telling you right now that things won't go as you're expecting. So you should be ready for the truth. There may be things that you never heard about, but that's not going to be any of my business. Now, before any of that could happen, how about you and Sophie just slow down a bit and rethink everything you're doing? Jenny, you're at your house right now, right? Sophie, what the hell are you planning on doing? Why have you brought my mom with you to the front of my house? I'm giving it to you. It's pretty large, just put in the trash, so I'm happy to see that you'll make it work. You stop all of that right now. I am not in the mood to listen to you ramble on about such rude crap. Now explain what this is all about. My mom was the one that raised me all by herself after my father died, so I will not let you talk about her in that way again. Are you out of your mind right now? It looks to me like you're just leaving her here now and are going to run off. We don't need that trash anymore, so we're throwing it away. And your brother and I are taking over the house now, and that old heap, who is pretty much already in her coffin, was in the way. So there you go. I know that you've kicked her out of her own house for your selfish goals. Are you both happy now to have that house all to yourselves? Well, yes, actually. We are very happy to have this house for ourselves now, and when I get home, we're going to start remodeling it. And it's not just the house either, but all the money that comes with it. Anthony and I are going to be rich now. Rich, huh? I know that the reason why your mom had to raise you all by herself is because her husband threw her away, right? Must freaking suck to be thrown away like that by the CEO of a huge company. And because of that, your mom had to end up in a wheelchair years later and is now a total waste of space in this society. You have no idea what happened then, do you? I'm surprised you can talk with such confidence when you don't know a single bit about the truth. Were you told something by my brother that led you to believe such things, or is this just how you are as a person, making up your own stories in order to get what you want? Anthony told me all about this stuff, so I know it's the truth. And Anthony was the only one in the family that your dad actually liked, right? So now I'm having you and your sad husband take care of that well-aged, useless hag for us. And know that we're not sending any money to you guys. I never had any intentions of getting whatever money you're talking about. And you'll soon learn just what I mean when I say there never was any riches in that house. But maybe even then you won't understand because you've already been so brainless about everything. Taking over my mom's house and then throwing her out like this? We're going to be making it out of all this safe, and with all that money your dad left for Anthony, and we'll be living like celebrities. I'm sure you'll be jealous of that too, since you're now going to be living with an old hag who is already halfway buried underground. I've left it for you now, so have fun. Well then, we're going to go with her and live in her condo now. Huh? We're planning to have all my family go with her now to her condo and live there for the rest of our lives. But don't worry yourself with it. She said you and Anthony can have her house, which I'm sure is far better than whatever condo she has, right? And also we've been told that if the condo isn't good enough for all of us, we can just start fresh and build up a new house. We might just do that instead, actually. And what is it that you're going on about now? You told me you wouldn't be handing me any more money now, right? But I should be the one saying that to you both. We don't want to ever see you two again, and I'm going to assume that my mom is going to cut ties with Anthony now. So I'd like for you both to just think of me and my family as strangers from now on. That should be all right with you, right? You guys were always like strangers to me, so this doesn't faze me whatsoever. But what is this about a condo? Are you talking about your dad's vacation home? Nope. And listen here, that man would never have had the kind of money to afford a vacation home in the first place. Have you actually taken a look at reality yet? What are you saying? His company went completely bankrupt, and then after that, he had to pay all of his debts off to the banks, and then following that, he died. How could he ever have any money left to hand down to Anthony when it was all used paying off his debts? He may have been a CEO to some people, but to me, he was just a failed businessman who never had a clue in the world what he was doing with his company. I really don't think he ever had the money that you guys think made him rich. Huh? Who are you talking about? I'm talking about my father, my dad. And when it came to him, he was so focused on his crappy business that he never paid any attention to my mother. And soon after things took off, he divorced her and left her to raise me all on her own as I was in my later years. But when it came to Anthony, my dad would still have him go out to see him every once in a while. However, it seems that while he was out seeing my dad, he was brainwashed by him, and I mean completely told to believe in a fake reality. Brainwashed, huh? I'm not following anything you're saying to me right now about your family. Tell me in a way that even I can understand, please. It doesn't matter at this point if you understand or not. You'll learn in a little while here what I've been telling you. What are you trying to say to me, Jenny? You're really starting to drive me up the wall here. My mom's always been the one working with financing, and that's what made my dad want to marry her. She's always been good with money and had made quite a bit as well. That's why it's not all that strange of her to have a condo, right? And right now, we're ready to move out of my house and into that condo with her. Our house is too small for her in her wheelchair anyway. So moving to this condo of hers is a must. Well, I never heard anything about her having her own condo. And your mom worked in financing? By the looks of her, I would have never guessed that she could do a job like that. What do you mean? You've always been looking down on her because of her wheelchair, right? She told me that she's even spoken to you about her past, but you never listened to her because she's in a wheelchair. Wait, so you're not kidding then? You're telling me that your mom has a lot of money then? That's right. My mom even told me that Anthony could have the house and everything, only to have him laugh in her face about it. You are both complete and utter trash. The only reason she lets you both have it is because the house is being torn down soon. She'd originally wanted to take the two of you to her condo and live the rest of her life there. But when you both forced your ways into her house and acted the way you have been with her, she decided to keep the whole house getting torn down plans a secret and gave you guys the place. Huh? She wanted us to come with her originally? And what's this about the house getting torn down soon? We can still live here, of course. My mom is far too old for a place like that now, especially when the house itself is older than her and needs way too much work. She knew that the land is worth far more than the house, and so she decided to plan for it to be demolished and then sell the land. Had you and Anthony not done the unthinkable and acted like two selfish pricks, then you could have been going with her to live in her really nice condo. Now you're left having to live in a rotten old house that will be gone any day now. I guess this is really what you and my brother deserve. There's no way in hell. Are you sure you don't have things all mixed up in your head right now? Maybe this is all just some sick joke? This isn't a mix-up, nor is it a joke. She had already told me about the plans she had with you both. But you went and kicked her out of her own house and brought her all the way to my house to dump her. After that, plans changed, and now it's going to be my family going out there to live with her. She told us we didn't have to go with her since we have kids here. But my family doesn't mind the move, and we'll even make sure to get her a new caretaker when she's all settled in. It's only right to have a pro look after her as she's in her final year, right? So, you're telling me you're going to go with your mom to her condo, and there she will hire a new caretaker with her money, and you all just get to live there without a care in the world? This is not at all what I expected to happen. What did you expect to happen then? Because I don't ever remember you and I talking about what would happen here. Actually, you don't have to tell me because I couldn't care less about what you wanted to happen. I'm sure you only thought of things based off of what my brainwashed brother was telling you anyway, right? I mean, there is no money coming from my dad. There's no way he had any left over. Are you sure that he doesn't have any money for us? He told us it was hidden here in this house and that we needed to get rid of your mom to get to it. The money and assets that he was talking about is my mom herself. Huh? I'm not sure what all my dad was telling Anthony, but did he happen to take money from either of you? Did my brother lend my dad some money saying he'd pay him back? He did, and I handed some money over from my savings as well. He told Anthony that in order to keep his money a secret from your mom, he'd need a little bit more from us. He said that the money we gave him would go towards a lawyer to help him keep whatever he could after the divorce. Really? Well, perhaps that money is somewhere there. Well, it would be really nice if the money really is there. But really, I think he was BSing you both and just needed money in order to try and pay off more of his debts. What's happened with our money then? We thought he was putting it into something that would turn a profit come the time he passed. But you're saying it's all gone? If you really wanted to put your money somewhere you would turn a profit, then maybe you both should have just stuck to investing it into a trustworthy company. But you both instead gave it to a slimy CEO who was just trying to bail himself out of that collapsing company. I have no idea anymore. I was just trusting everything Anthony was telling me at the time. It's because of you that I don't know what to think anymore. You are the one in control of your own thoughts, and my family and I have nothing to do with them. And after today, I don't think you'll be hearing from my mom or I anymore. My mom's already cut ties to Anthony, and you are just a stranger to us all now. You may have gotten yourselves a house by acting like animals, but starting next week, I'd pick a day to get out of there. You're lying, right? Right? We only just moved into this house. How could it already be set to be torn down after next week? Where are we supposed to go once we lose this house? You think I care about a couple of crappy idiots that are going to lose their house soon? I don't care. You are both just awful to talk to, and I'm sure you won't be catered to by anyone when you both keep acting like everyone is in your favor. Jenny, you can't be serious about that, right? We're your family. I think there was just a slight misunderstanding here, but if your mom really does have money, then it's all good. Honestly, I just thought she was using up all the money that was supposed to be for your brother and I, hence why I acted so rude. I was pissed at her, and that's what then led to me kicking her out. It was a misunderstanding, okay? Let's forget about all that just happened and make things right, okay? No frickin' thanks. What? Are you sure? You'd been looking down on my mom this whole time, picking on her as though you were a bully. And did you forget that just a moment ago you came to my house and dumped her here, acting as though she was some trash that you thought I could handle for you? I have no reason in my mind for why I'd ever want to forgive such a monster. But Anthony is still your older brother, right? We're all still family, so we need to help one another out. The cruddy man you chose to be married to is not like a brother to me, not even family. You are both perfect for one another since you both seem to act like complete jackasses, so you can both figure something out. My family is too good for you guys, so we don't need to help either of you, right? Well, isn't this just great? You get to live in a proper house for 1 week. You're being a jerk, Jenny. Don't throw us away. I'm not the jerk here, right? Do you really think me not offering you both any help is enough to make me the jerk after all you and Anthony did? If you just put some thought into it, you'd understand who the real jerks are. And what's going to happen next is just you and my brother getting exactly what you've had coming. Have fun living as two lowlives out there. Goodbye now. Wait a second, Jenny, do we really have to move out of this house? You guys can't make something happen? I'm heading back over to your house right now. We can talk more about this there. My family is all already out of the house. Huh? My mom has taken us all out for lunch today. You can go over to my house, but nobody's going to be there to let you in. And if you try to break into there, I'll have the police called on you in no time. You don't have to say that! You are both a plight to this world, so you should both be handled by either the police or by your guys' own demise. Don't get good people like my family and I involved in your hell. Now, can you tell me who is already halfway buried underground again? In the end, neither Anthony nor Sophie were able to find the money and what not that my father had told them about. And within a week of having lived in that house, those two were kicked out of it in order to have the place bulldozed. After having lost the only place they could live, they both ran to my mom and I for help. At first, they both went to my house, but came to realize when peering through the windows that all the furniture was gone and that we had already moved to the condo. They then began to start texting my mom and I, trying to say that they were really sorry and that they still wanted to be a part of the family. However, when they kept asking my mom and I to let them come to the condo with us, we didn't tell them a thing. And when they started to become even more annoying by asking us over and over again, we chose to block both their numbers and officially cut ties. Ever since then, we haven't had to meet with either one of them. And I have to say, my mom and I are feeling so much better with things being quiet and calm again. As of right now, they both have been on the road trying to make things work without having a proper house they can live in. But I'd say this was the perfect end for those two, since they made their wanted outcome very clear by acting so selfishly and like complete animals. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.